guys, Horror Man again, back for another review. So we're just going to take a quick look at the brand new 1954 Godzilla made by NECA Toys. Now I've already taken this out of the package, but I just want to show you how awesome this figure actually is. The front of the blister card is just going to have this Godzilla 1954 insert. And then the back of the card is just going to have this awesome retro black and white picture. And here's the front of the card that you would see with the figure in front of it. So this is a great figure. This is the first Godzilla made by NECA Toys that's in the black and white format. And I think they've done a really good job at capturing him. You can see he's got this great classic look to him. He's got kind of like a little bit bulkier body shape, and it's meant to really represent what he would have looked like, the actor looked like in his suit, which I really like. It's cool that they actually represent it that way. He's got these awesome spikes on his back, and you can see how they go. They start at like the head, just like you would, and they get bigger toward the back, and then all the way down through the tail. And then you can see these pudgy legs he has here. And then again to the arms. So yeah, again, this is meant to look like the Godzilla that we would remember from the movie, just like what the guy in his bodysuit looks like. So awesome, awesome representation of the character. And I love the black and white paint scheme. It's so classic, and it's definitely the way he should look. So looking at the face sculpt, you could really see the details in here. He has those real sharp teeth like you would expect. That mouth actually, or jaw rather, is hinged, so it closes really nicely and opens very nicely as well. Then you have some really good range of articulation. You can see the little ears here. They kind of stick out just a little bit from the head. And the eye placement is done very well. So, really cool. I would recommend this because it's honestly, I think it's the best version that NECA's done so far. You can see the changes with the 80s version of the head, just gets a little bit bigger. And you really get a lot more detail with that. With the modern version, the head was so small you really couldn't see these details in the face. But again, this is based off of a person in a suit, whereas the other one is based off of the CGI movie. Now, one thing great about these Godzilla figures is just like all the other NECA figures, especially the modern NECA figures, is you have a really good range of articulation. I've already showed you the head articulation, but just to get into that a little bit more, you do have the jaw that's hinged. He can turn right here, that's the first cut, and then there's also a neck turn here. And then half his body can turn just like that, kind of like an ab crunch. And he can get some really good motion in here. You have the motion in the shoulder. There's a cut in the elbow, not too much in the elbow. And then of course you have the swivel in the wrist, and he can also go up like he's holding something too. And then of course you get the same movement in the other arm, and then into the legs you have a right at the crotch area you can move his leg pretty freely. And he does have a cut in the knee, but he really can't go frontward or backward. It's more of just a twist. And then there's also a twist in the foot. And of course the same thing on the other side. As for the blades, they're like more of like a soft rubber type material, so they're very pliable. They don't stay in the position that you put them in, they just kind of go back to the shape they were in. And then the tail itself does come disconnected. You just connect this after you open it from the box. You could twist here. There's a twist right here. So it's pretty much every two pieces. And then to the tail, it's got a bendy wire in here, so which will actually stay in place pretty well. So yeah, he's got a great range of articulation. just like what we would expect from the Godzilla figures. So I don't have any Monster Arts figures to really compare to it, so I'll just put the other version in here, and this is the NECA Godzilla from the newer movie, the most recent movie, and you can see the head is much different on both the figures, much different classic style. You can see the chubbier body, especially compared to the newer version, but yeah, the head of these guys is so much different. I like the newer Godzilla movie, but in terms of figures, this figure is no question much more like a Godzilla that I'm used to. The newer one has like more reptilian kind of skin tone to it, and it's got these kind of scales. So yeah, much different figures. But in ways of articulation and the quality, it's pretty much the same. Now, even though he is Godzilla, of course, he should be gigantic, but he is still a NECA 7-inch figure, so don't expect him to be any different size than a standard NECA figure. Here he is next to the Part 3 bloody Jason Voorhees, and you can see that the scale is pretty much the same. If Godzilla was to stand straight up, he'd still be shorter than Jason, but yeah, they're not too far off in size. And just in case you want something a little bit cooler for your T-Rex, maybe you can call this the Super T-Rex. But this is the Rebel Tech version, and these look a lot cooler in scale as compared to this tiny little guy. But again, if we're going for real scale, I guess this little T-Rex is pretty much what it would really be. Alright, so that's my review of the 1954 NECA Godzilla. All in all, I'd highly recommend this figure if you really want that classic Godzilla look. I think NECA's really delivered on this figure. The articulation and likeness are extremely good, and I really like the bulky, kind of chubby style of this figure. It really does give the illusion that this was what the actor in his suit would look like. So I'm very fond of this figure. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I love the black and white tone as opposed to giving it some kind of color. And you can pick this up at any specialty store, Toys R Us, and other similar stores, comic shops. The price is around $25. And thanks for viewing. Leave a comment, question, subscribe, and until next time, guys, see ya.